Hello everyone, hi, nice to see you. I was just setting up my YouTube as well, trying to figure out if it's working or not. Not sure if it does. Okay, I think it does. Yay! Go us! Hello, how's it going everybody? Привіт, привіт, привіт! Hi there. Hi Zoe, how are you guys doing? Hi William. Let me set everything up on YouTube as well, because I'm trying to do the same thing I did last time, also going live on YouTube at the same time, so I could show you guys the map if you're interested, if you even care. Oh, hi Umberlin, I see you in the YouTube chat. Okay, I hope everything is working. Let me check if you can see. Okay, yeah, I'm showing the map. Wonderful. Just a lot of screens happening at the same time because I don't know how to stream properly. Anyway, we're just gonna wait for a couple more people to join. Just a reminder, also live on YouTube if you're interested in seeing the map. So today we're just gonna do the weekly updates mostly. So we're gonna talk about most important things that happened in Ukraine, maybe other places as well, but you guys know the drill. Usually it's just Ukraine. We're gonna talk about the parade in Moscow, which was a whole thing. I don't know if you guys have seen anything from the parade. Yeah, fun for the whole family as always. And yeah, other things as well, the front. Maybe we'll answer some questions if you have any. So yeah, just you know, the usual. So yeah. Hi Alice, I see you on YouTube as well, so I think we have a couple more people joining on YouTube too. So yeah, if you would like to see the map, please head to my YouTube channel. The link is in bio. Wow, I sound like a real blogger now. Anyway, so I wanted to start with a quick roundup of all of the strikes, all of the drones and missile strikes that we had over the week. Last time I did it in chronological order, and thank you Jody, I gave it a lot of attention. Today is going to be a little bit more brief because enough is enough, I guess. Hi Henrik. So, but yeah, we had an interesting week in terms of drone strikes in particular. So we started out with the usual, remember, right? Most of the days, there's at least 100-something drones, Russian drones headed towards Ukraine overnight. So this is how we began. So both Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we had these massive waves of drones. So it was 165 drones, then it was 116 drones, and 130-something drones. And on Tuesday, there was an attack on Kharkiv. I have this media article opened. As you can see, I'm showing this on YouTube, by the way. As you can see, the market in Kharkiv was hit, and pretty heavily. So it was 12 Shahed drones that hit the market. 11 people were injured. And this poor Kharkiv market that's called Barabashov, it's not the first time it gets hit. I think it's at least 10 times. Honestly, I've lost count at this point how many times this market was hit. But this was just a part of the strike. So there were also hits in other areas of Kharkiv as well. And yeah, so the market was set on fire. The cars that were parked in the vicinity also caught on fire. So the usual horror. And the article specifies that it was 20 Shahed drones, 7 FPV drones, and also 8 guided aerial bombs, so the Kaby. We talked about them before. Oh, I see more guys joining on YouTube. Hi Dawn, and hi Lori. Good morning from Washington. Hi Washington. So yeah, that was another type of combined missile strike that we have seen. To those of you who do not remember where Kharkiv is, I'm going to show you on a map in a second. So we're zooming in right now to the eastern Ukraine, and this is it right here, the city of Kharkiv. You can see to the north of it there is the liberated territory. This is the territory that was under the Russian control in 2022 and then was liberated during the counteroffensive. Oh, thank you, Joni. I see you. I see you guys. And to the north of Kharkiv, you can see these areas in red on the map. This is currently where the fighting is happening. So the areas in red are the ones that the Russians have occupied, the ones that is kind of grayish. Thank you, Chucky. Kind of grayish. This is sort of the questionable area. Usually it's the area that it's still hard to say whether or not it's under someone's control, or when it's the area that goes from control of one army to another. This is how it's marked on the map most of the time. So it's one of the main reasons. I'm repeating myself, I said this before, but just to remind you, this is one of the main reasons why the shellings are so intense. It's super close to the Russian border. The city of Belgorod is right to the north of it. So that was the Tuesday strike on Kharkiv, which was pretty awful, as always. But Kharkiv, unfortunately, just like most of the places that are very close to Russia, struck almost daily. So to me, it's all very far away from me. I'm going to show you on the map once again where I am at the moment. So this is Kharkiv right here. We're going all the way to the other side of the country. This is Volyn, right? If you guys are on YouTube, you can see it. To those of you who are not on YouTube, I'm going to take out my map and I'm going to show you on the good old map, as well as a reminder where I am and where all of the awfulness mostly is. So this is where Kharkiv is, the one in green. So east, this is deep east, and I'm right here. So totally opposite. Thank you, Annette. Hi. Completely opposite. So no worries about me. All of the attention should be on the people who are actually suffering and not just suffering in their heads. So that was Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, there was another attack. So it was another combined one. So 142 drones and a couple of missiles. And it was Kyiv that got hit. So among the damage that was caused on Kyiv, okay, let me first remind you, to those of you who forgot where Kyiv is, on the map it's right in the center. Again, to those of you who are not with us on YouTube, you should be, but if you forgot where Kyiv is, this is where Kyiv is, right at the center of the map. So the strike on Kyiv was pretty devastating. Again, combined missile strike, so really hard to intercept. There were 8 people wounded and 2 people who were killed. As you can see, the residential buildings got hit. Unfortunately, it's like these images, the worst thing about these images is just that we see them so often, we see them daily. It's like a routine thing. You're not even really shocked anymore. You're just seeing these images and thinking, oh, okay, another residential building. Among the people who were wounded, there were 4 kids, and there was a family of 2 volunteers who passed away. So it was a family, a mom and her son with a disability, and they were apparently rescuing stray cats, and the drone hit directly into their apartment, so they both unfortunately didn't make it. This is the image of one cat who survived. If you're with us on YouTube, you can see the cat. He was rescued from the debris. Yeah, it was confirmed by a volunteer organization that these 2 people were killed. They were living on the 5th floor, so pretty high up. And these are usually the floors that get targeted, that get hit whenever there is a drone attack. The drones just fly into them. So yeah, and so the tragedy here is that, well, obviously the lives are lost, but it's the fact that it was the mom and the son with a disability, so he couldn't walk freely, and because of that they couldn't go into the shelter, so they couldn't hide, and so they both died in that attack. So only one cat survived. Oh my goodness, yeah, that's awful stuff. I know. Well, that's daily occurrence, everybody. Unfortunately, this is war. So what else? Then on Thursday, so right after that, this is when the so-called Putin's ceasefire was supposed to begin. Right, this was when he promised us, good evening everybody. He promised us that there's going to be a ceasefire and everything's going to be perfect. A good thing that happened, there were no drone attacks after that. So these types of Shahed strikes on our rear cities, for 2 days, we almost had none. However, at the same time, the other kinds of attacks continued. So on Thursday alone, there were 100 bombs, 100 guided aerial bombs dropped on the region of Sumy. Again, another poor eastern Ukrainian region that gets hit constantly because of its proximity to Russia. So yeah, just the peculiar part about the so-called ceasefire is that it's not really it's not a full ceasefire, and if it's not a full ceasefire, then is it really a ceasefire at all, right? So yeah, it was only about the drones apparently. Why was it only about the drones? Well, I think you can guess, because they were about to have the parade in Moscow, and they really didn't want those Ukrainian drones reaching the parade or trying to reach the parade or causing any sort of havoc around that. So I guess that makes sense. So yeah, and we didn't have any big drone attacks. We only had all of these types of like guided missile attacks on the regions that border Russia, the regions that are the frontline regions. But today we received the warning from our government, from our armed forces, from the US Embassy, surprisingly, in Kyiv as well. They tend to announce whenever something big is in the making, that the Russians apparently are preparing a massive strike to compensate for that with their Oreshnik missiles. It's a ballistic missile that can reach the speed up to something like 12,000 kilometers per hour, something crazy. So yeah, they're planning to hit us with that. And we even know the approximate time. And how do we know this? That's because they closed the aerial space above the area from which they're launching those missiles, and it's going to be closed sometime, I think, either on 12th or 13th, so everybody even knows the approximate time of that incoming, so nice. But yeah, okay, sorry, let me see what you guys are saying. Hello, 2 more people joining on YouTube. We already have 29 people on YouTube. We're gonna, just a moment. Okay, I think everything's fine. And yeah, if you would like to, thank you for joining on YouTube. Yes, I am in Ukraine. I'm in Volynska Oblast, in the western part, but I'm originally from Crimea. So, but you know, according to the name of the live, it's either Ukraine or Hawaii, so we'll never know. It's either or. I'm either in Volyn, in the swamp, beaver-infested swamp, or in a Maui, surfing. So a lot of people are confused about it. Anyway, yeah, so right, Mew, exactly. Putin and his promises. Who could have thought? Who could have thought? Добрий вид. А є вечірня ксена, це я. Anyway, so let's talk about the parade, shall we, while we're at it. So, I don't know if you guys saw the parade. It was pretty boring, as most parades tend to be. There was nothing exciting, but the shtick of it is, on 9th of May, every year, Russians celebrate the victory in the World War II, according to them. In reality, it's this massive abomination of a holiday that has nothing to do with the World War II or honoring the dead, just nothing at all. It's just a massive propaganda event, and it has been like this for a while now. And it's one of the reasons why most of the sane people don't like this holiday and think it's awful. So the interesting part about today's parade, I'm going to be repeating myself. I've made a YouTube video about the entire Победобесие, the celebration, abomination, and everything relating to 9th of May on YouTube, so check it out if you still haven't. But basically, the main difference of this year's parade was that there was a bunch of foreign guests who were not there previously, because after Russia launched the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, a lot of people are kind of like, we don't really want to hang out with you anymore. But now we're in this area of like normalization, right? We're now trying to be friendly with the Russians, we're trying to hang out with them, to integrate Putin back into the international community. So there were some of the foreign leaders who ended up showing up to the parade. I really like this article that I'm now showing on YouTube, because it has the list of all the people who showed up. They were all forced to do this photo shoot with Putin in front of some carpets. I don't know where this is. Somewhere important in Moscow, some presidential palace. So it looks like a meme and feels like a meme, and I love everything about it. So the first one is the Armenian Prime Minister Pashinyan. There was a little bit of an intrigue because another person who was supposed to show up was Aliyev of Azerbaijan. And if you guys know, there is something of a situation between Azerbaijan and Armenia, but Aliyev pulled out, like last moment he canceled, something happened, I don't know, got a cold maybe. So yeah, but Pashinyan showed up, not like he really has a choice, let's be real with ourselves. Then there was Lula from Brazil. Oh, thank you, Dana, this is cute. Brazilian President Lula, who was so excited to see Putin. I have never seen anyone in my life as excited to see Putin. I've never had anyone in my life as excited to see me as Lula was to see Putin. So, hi guys, more people joining. Okay, a couple more people joining on YouTube. Nice to see you. Anyway, wait, do I have the video? I think I had it on X somewhere. Let me show you. Sorry for using X again. I just, for some reason, cannot show you stuff on YouTube. Probably because of the copyright. Look at that. This is the video of Lula and Putin. Just look how happy Lula is. He just cannot. He goes for another handshake, and then Putin shows him like just leave, please leave, and he just cannot get enough of him. I know. What an adorable relationship. So anyway, Lula was there. Good for him. Then there was the president of Burkina Faso, which is a new development. Okay, I guess. And of course, the one and only Lukashenko was also there. Look how huge he is compared to Putin. This is wonderful. This is true show of domination. Oh, that's Chewy. Let me see. Sorry, what you guys are saying. Mew says it was boring, but it was interesting with other talks with China, Putin, and oh yeah. Yeah, this is, I think, the most exciting part, the entire China debacle. The Russians celebrate victory one day later than everyone else because of the time delay. I don't really think that's why. I think this is probably because... Oh, well, partially, I guess. But also they really like to be separate from everyone else. They like to show that they're different. Anyway, then we have Maduro, who was, based on the picture, really happy to be there. Vučić, who barely made it. There were rumors that Vučić from Serbia and also Fico from Slovakia, that they got sick, that they couldn't make it, but I think at the last moment someone from the Kremlin called them and said, you better be there, and so they did. Vučić looks like a fish of some sort. Then there's the guy from Cuba, Mongolia. This is the guy from Kazakhstan, the next one. I cannot just the fact that they're all standing in the same spot. It's like a graduation album for sad people. And of course, the star of the show, it's C from China. This was the major thing that everyone was wondering about, whether or not C will actually show up. Because a lot of leaders were pulling out, they were like canceling last moment. Will C show up? Of course he did, and he demonstrated to everyone that he was the one who owns Moscow now, I guess. Then we have President of Zimbabwe, nothing new here. A really weird picture with Rahmon from Tajikistan. It's like they're bumping heads, alright. And Fico, who looks thrilled, absolutely thrilled. This is Slovakian Fico. And they all had a wonderful photo shoot in front of the stairs. So yeah, if you are on YouTube, I hope you like what you're seeing. Let me see what you guys are saying on YouTube. Lula is disgusting for this. This is definitely not his best moment. I mean, for many of these people, this is not their best moment. Let's be real with ourselves, because this is just... I mean, obviously to them it's transactional. For a lot of them, they're clearly showing that, like, who they belong to. I think C, out of all these people, is the only person who shows the other way around, that the Kremlin belongs to him. But the rest of them are just very happy to be a part of the Kremlin's team, I guess, on the global scene. So yeah, also another thing that I wanted to show you from this article, how Moscow looked for the celebrations of the Victory Day. Oh, thank you, Cody. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? I'm on YouTube now, you guys, to those who just joined, if we have any people who don't know, showing the cutouts of Putin and Xi, and a little girl standing next to them. Some of the Moscow decor, they have this type of like decoration that is supposed to mimic the socialism, like the socialist art style. And it just looks extremely tacky and really, really humiliating for everyone involved, but they probably don't see it this way. Anyway, more cutouts. We have these waitresses dressed as who? I don't know. She has like a Budenovka on, this type of like a Red Army hat, some kind of a bathrobe, which is red, obviously, I think for Red Army. This is weird, okay. Some pigeons with the... I don't even, they look so bad, they look like parasites though. Anyway, yeah, posing with the pictures of your dead relatives, that's another thing that they do. So yeah, that's extremely depressing, to say the least. Anyway, let me see what you guys are saying. No Orban says no Orban, I don't know where he was. I'm honestly shocked and kind of saddened because Victor, what is happening? But to be honest, he wasn't even announcing that he was going to be there. I think he has some other things to do. By the looks of it, the situation in Hungary is getting kind of tense for him, so he better be there. Watch out for the situation. We had some interesting developments with Hungary. A couple of days ago, we had some arrests made in Transcarpathia region of Ukraine. Let me show you on the map. Wait, what did I just press? I don't know. We had, let me show you where Transcarpathia is. Well, basically this is where Transcarpathia is. It's the Transcarpathian region, if you will. It's the one that has a huge Hungarian minority living in Ukraine. Well, let me show you a different map. I think this one is better. Yeah, right here. This is Transcarpathian region. This is Uzhgorod, right here. And we had some arrests, and our side is saying that we basically arrested some Hungarian spies who were spying for Orban's government, who were measuring the temperature in the society, like what is the mood, because of this very present Hungarian minority in the region. Obviously you can imagine there's a lot of tensions, and a lot of the Hungarian rhetoric, Orban's rhetoric in particular, is centered around how our Hungarian minority in Ukraine is oppressed and how they're having such a bad life and how everything would be so much better if they were part of Hungary. And there were even rumors at the beginning of this full-scale invasion that, knowing Orban's attitudes in his close proximity to Putin, that there was a possibility that if Putin were successful in 2022, and he did end up, imagine that, he did end up taking over all of Ukraine, then Orban would have sent in the troops and would have gotten the Transcarpathian region for himself as part of like Greater Hungary. To those of you who are not on YouTube, Transcarpathian region it's right there, right? So it's super close to Hungary. Obviously has a lot of historic ties. So yeah, we had these arrests, and then Hungary also did some reciprocal arrests as well. So that was an interesting situation. And also, this is another thing from Transcarpathian region. Those you guys, I hope you're seeing this. Hi Hannah, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're seeing what I'm showing you right now, because this is this is another thing that happened in Transcarpathian region in Zakarpattia. So this is a priest from the Orthodox Church of Ukraine, but some of you might remember that we have two Orthodox churches of Ukraine, because originally we all, so let's put it this way. For the longest possible time, ever since Ukraine fell under the sphere of influence of Moscow, we have had the Moscow Patriarchate as the dominating one. Then a couple of years ago, finally, Ukrainian church, like the real Ukrainian Orthodox Church, what I now consider at least the real Ukrainian Orthodox Church, received the Tamos, so like a separation, and we now have two Ukrainian churches. One is of Moscow Patriarchate, or as I like to call it, the KGB Patriarchate. And then we have the other one that is directly like subjugated to Constantinople, and it's like a separate thing. So the wonderful man that you're seeing on your screens right now, if you're watching me on YouTube, this is a priest of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church of Moscow Patriarchate, who was walking around in Transcarpathian region dressed in this, like, it's a mix of a priest attire and a World War II uniform, I guess. Yeah, and he was just walking around like this. And he got arrested for propaganda, for the propaganda of communist totalitarian regimes. And in Ukraine, it's illegal to basically spread both communist and Nazi fascist propaganda. So if you do stuff like this, yeah, there could be consequences. But yeah, this this is what he was doing on the 9th of May. Just walking around with a bunch of medals and yeah, some of the Georgievsky lentочки, these like the orange and black ones. They're also one of the symbols of the Russian celebrations of the World War II. He had a friend with him also dressed in a really weird circus-like attempt at cosplaying, I don't know, the Red Army, the Soviet soldiers. It's really hard to say what this was. But yeah, that's... I mean, jokes aside, this is a part of the thing that you're seeing as an attempt to kind of destabilize the situation, right? This is a clear provocation. It's funny and all, but obviously this is a provocation, and this type of stuff is just, yeah, it's kind of sad. Anyway, let me see what you guys are saying. Sorry, I get distracted. Oh, thank you, Samuel. That's very kind of you. I wish. Why have religious beliefs in first case war? Don't see it as a war stopper. That's a very deep philosophic question, my friend. I wish we could answer this. Probably not today. Oh, thank you, Peanut. Thank you. Appreciate it. Anyway. Yeah, these days I'm streaming. I'm trying to go live on Saturdays around the same time. So 7 p.m. Eastern European Summer Time, it's called. So this is what it is. Today, let me see what the YouTube chat is saying. Highly decorated for a priest, right? I mean, look at him. This is pathetic. Sad but funny to see weirdos are in every country. Yeah, every country has their own Florida men. In our case, I guess today at least, it's the Transcarpathian men. Anyway, let's go back to the map. Let me open the map. Once again, cannot just recommend this map enough. It's called the Deep State map. It's really good. Shows all of the developments on the front line in Ukraine. So if you're interested, you can check it out. I'm gonna open it now because I will be moving to discussing the frontline developments pretty soon. Nice to see you too. This is lovely. The flags. Thank you, Don, for subscribing. Hello from Detroit. Hello from Volyn, Alan. Anyway, let's take a look at the map once again, everybody, and let's discuss the situation at the front. Thankfully, we haven't had any particularly horrible things happening, but the general trend remains the same. The Russians are advancing slowly but steadily. So, where shall we start? Let's look at the south. So this is something that I forgot to mention last week because I was freaking out because I was streaming on YouTube and on TikTok for the first time, and I panicked. So if you take a look at this teeny tiny area right here, these islands, right, bizarrely shaped islands, and the river, this is where Dnieper becomes the sea, right, and all of these, so it is being discussed right now that this is the next potential direction of the Russian advancement towards Kherson region. So the one in the red, the territory in the red in the south, it's the territory that is currently occupied. Everything in green is the Ukraine-controlled territory. As you can see, in between them there is this gray area type of situation. So the Russians have been trying to rebuild a sort of place of arms, or at least considering this. This is something that our side is saying going to be one of their main targets for the upcoming weeks, months, it's hard to say, but it's been predicted that they're going to try and create this place of arms, the Platsdarm, at these islands in order to advance towards Kherson. This just, on the topic of, they actually want peace. They would like to freeze the war and have peace. The black-eyed peace is the only thing they would like to have, because someone who wants peace is not doing a place of arms in such an area. But yeah, obviously, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen. But the potential obviously is quite terrifying, and it also shows that they will not stop just at the site that they have already taken. I mean, even J.D. Vance admitted that the Russians are asking for more than they have, and that their demands are crazy. Well, that's because they have no intention of stopping the war, right? I don't know. I think it's pretty obvious. Anyway, let's take a look at Donbass, I think. So again, a cool thing about this map that I am showing you right now is that you can, if you use it yourself, you can just click on the calendar and you can, for instance, let's go a week back, and you can see all of the little arrows on the map kind of disappearing, right? And then we go back to 9th of May, so yesterday, and you can see these developments in all of the most heated parts of the front. In Pokrovsk area, for instance, well, the Pokrovsk area still, from what I can see, from what the people are saying, the most intense part. You can see how they're advancing, right? How they're trying to encircle it very slowly. There was a teeny tiny, you can see this blue dot in the village of Lysivka. This is where the Ukrainian counteroffensive has taken place, because currently the main effort is try to push them back and not to let them, just walk into the area freely, as it has been for a while, right? So this is the trend that has been the same. Peace in Russia, says me, right? I know, silly me. What am I even saying? The map is called Deep State. It's Deep State map .live. Or you can just Google it as Deep State Map Ukraine War, and it will pop up. So yeah, the Pokrovsk area, still one of the most intense ones. Another very sad development that has happened once again. If we go to Donbass, so what I'm showing to you right now, you can see this line right here. Basically, this is their main goal for the upcoming, thank you, Sandra, for the upcoming weeks, months, as long as it's going to take them. This line of Slovyansk, Kramatorsk, and here in the south you have Kostiantynivka. So Kostiantynivka has been, up until very recently, it still is, right? You can see on the map, it's still under Ukrainian control. It's a very important hub of communications, of logistics, of transportation. And we have this, it's not really a saying, but basically a lot of people believe that it's bad sign for a city, for a frontline town, whenever a Nova Poshta leaves it. Nova Poshta is this postal service that we have in Ukraine. It's like a private company that everybody knows, everybody loves. It was this great alternative to our main state-owned Ukrposhta. And so also Nova Poshta has been incredible during the times of war, especially when it comes to supplying the people in the frontline cities with basic goods and just whatever it is that they might need, sending in medicine, sending in just any supplies you can think of, pretty much. And so today we learned that Nova Poshta in the city, in the town of Kostiantynivka, is closing down. This is of course a bad sign. So they have lost it for such a long time. Kostiantynivka is under daily shellings, right? The situation there is insane. This is like what I'm showing you right now is one of the buildings that was destroyed. I'm not entirely sure when, but sometime. It's just gradually getting leveled, just like most of the cities that are in the Russian way. So yeah, it's just sad to see that one more sign of life disappears. It just, brings me back to the time when when our army liberated Kherson. Some of the first things that happened right after the Ukrainian troops liberated Kherson and like the southern Ukrainian areas, the next thing we had was the ATB, it's our like supermarket chain, and the Nova Poshta, the new post, entering the region immediately. And this was like a sign of life returning into the region, and now here in Konstantinivka we're seeing it leaving gradually. So yeah, anyway, that's again, right, if you look at the map, it just shows it perfectly in which directions they're moving, how they're trying to take over the roads, because the roads are obviously the most important communication arteries in the region. But yeah, it's the same trend. Thankfully, no bad, massive breakthroughs. It's just this gradual grilling war of attrition and the fight that is happening for every square meter of the territory. So yeah, another direction that is apparently very important, it's the Liman direction. It's right here in green, and with Liman, again, right, the reason it's green is because it was already under the Russian occupation, and then it was liberated, and now they want to take it back. So you can see the advancements here, they seem pretty gradual, right? You can see these, it's just sort of gradually spawning in the area, but at the same time, like if you look right here, this area, it's still marked as if it's under Ukrainian control, for instance, but there is already pretty heavy fighting in the area. And this like teeny tiny village, we usually say that, oh, it's just the village. Well, not we, I don't think we're saying that, but I see this a lot in the Western media. Oh, they're just, grabbing, like taking one village. It's gonna take them, hundreds of years to take all over Ukraine. Well, first of all, every single village, it's someone's lives, right? Some people losing this village usually, because it means that the village is gonna get razed before it's captured. And second of all, some of these villages are much more important than the others. Like this one in particular is also a communication transportation hub that is vital for this entire area that I'm right now showing you with my cursor. So yeah, and yeah, of course the goals that they have in mind are much more ambitious than what we're seeing happening right now, but it's nevertheless, it's extremely tragic. The area in this region, it used to be this massive, how do you say this, national park, right? It used to have trees like 250 years old and stuff like this, so it was this beautiful, beautiful, massive forest, obviously protected. Well, now it's pretty much gone, so oh well. Let me see what you guys are saying. I am alive. Hi Hannah, how are you doing? The name of the map is Deep State Map, which I know is kind of creepy, but it is what it is. The Deep State Map. You can find it by just simply typing into Google Deep State Map, Ukraine war, and you will find it. It's actually one of the best, and also it has all of the links to support the project as well. You can help them out. I think they have Buy Me a Coffee or something, or Ko-fi, something like that. So if you would like to do that, I'm sure they would appreciate it, the people behind this project. I think it's currently the most famous map in all of Ukraine. It also has this really neat thing. So there's a bunch of settings. So you can look at the standard map. You can look at the satellite one as well, for instance, and also one of my favorite things that happens. So right now I have the NATO standards setting on. If you do it like this, all of a sudden non-NATO standard makes all of the enemy troops look like piglets in helmets. So yeah, just a little bit of fun, I guess. And also I think the Belarusian troops look like potatoes. Which is offensive and shouldn't be used against normal Belarusian people, only for the army. Anyway, so yeah, Deep State Map, everybody. Okay, let me look at the YouTube chat. What are you guys saying in here? Happy to see you too. Thank you for joining. I hope you like the map. There's definitely a dissociation for the rest of us not in Ukraine. It's hard for us to view it as actual lives being lost every day. Only the media had a ticker like they did in the USA during our wars. I mean, at the same time, I feel like... Oh, thank you, Jenny. I feel like it's inevitable because it happens here in Ukraine as well, right? The dissociation. It's kind of like, for us at least, it's a coping mechanism. But also, if you did have this daily coverage of the war, like if it was a war that was fought somewhere close, if it was a war that was, say, right, kind of like much more important to you or something, you would still get this. You would still get this feeling as well. This is the worst part, because unfortunately we can get used to almost anything. So yeah. Also, I think at some point when there is too much coverage, it kind of sort of turns into a circus of sorts, and it's no longer useful. It's just entertainment, like Hunger Games type of thing. I remember getting so many and seeing so many comments about that. Oh, it's like the Hunger Games. It's like the Hunger Games. Whenever, we would post about the war, or people from other war-torn areas would post about the war. It's like, no, it's not really Hunger Games, though, is it? But it dulls down the sense of urgency, the sense of real danger, the sense of that this is a real tragedy happening somewhere, because yeah, that's just how we cope. Your brain will try to save you from, realizing the scope of the horror. Sorry, missed another comment that asks, is there a wildlife reserve in the area of Loma? Yep, that's the Kreminski Lis, I think it's called. Let me show you. Was it Kreminski or Kreminny? Let me check. Kreminski Lis. Let's see. Kreminski Lisy. Yeah, so this was... it just looked very nice, right? You can see all these groves with the trees. The entire, the Donbass nature, it's not particularly stunning. It has this quiet beauty. I was there only briefly, but I really liked their forests, and this is what it looks right now. So that forest is pretty much gone because of the continuous artillery battles in the area. Yeah, that's what it is right now. This is where a lot of the comparisons to the World War I come from, right? Because of this, images like these from these areas. Anyway. Oh, thank you, Zoe. Yeah, the YouTube is in bio if you're interested in seeing what I'm showing you guys. Oh, hi, Carol. It turns into white noise if it's too much all at once. Right. Because there is no other way around. Your brain will have to protect you. And I am here, right? And still I have to, tune it out. Which, of course it's a privilege. If I were somewhere in the East, I wouldn't be able to just zone out and, just turn it down, because it would be the constant part of my life. But unfortunately, yeah, that's what your brain does to cope. Hi, Georgia. Hello. Hope you're doing well. Glad to see you too, Michael. Opla, let me see. Okay, I think I have seen all of the comments, which is good. Happy to see you too, Loris. I hope you're doing good. So yeah, that's unfortunately what it looks like. Very sad image, especially when you remember the true scale of this devastation, that it's not just one forest, that it's basically everywhere where you can see across the Frontline area. The fields look horrible as well. There was, I don't know, will I be able to show you? Maybe there will be, what the field looks like after artillery strikes. It's just covered in holes. And this is also another level to this tragedy, because remember, we have this extremely fertile land, and where this, used to be at least an agricultural country with tons of fields growing. Our flag is pretty much the wheat field under the sky. It's for a reason. The entire country is covered in fields. And yeah, this is what's been happening to the fields. They're burned down. They're covered in mines, they're shelled from all types of weapons that can reach it, so yeah, well, I think by this point in time, almost everyone have seen those messages, the pictures, so yeah. All right. Anyway, so we just looked at the. Before that, we were talking about the frontline developments, right? But yeah, these are basically currently the most important directions. So Liman, although it's not as apparent on the map, but you can clearly see what they're trying to do here, right? They're trying to cut it off. They're trying to separate it. And potentially, I imagine, encircle it. Another one, as we just talked, was Kostiantynivka, that unfortunately recently lost its Nova Poshta office that had to close down, which unfortunately what happens when the front line crawls closer and closer in. You can see how they're advancing. Wait, let me see if we can look at the progress, for instance, on April 1st. Yeah, this is when you can see the actual progress, right? So look, this is April 1st. I'm live on YouTube, to those of you who are wondering what am I talking about. I'm not insane. Kind of, but... So this is April 1st, and this is yesterday. So you can just see them encroaching. It's like a horror movie. Pokrovsk, still, obviously. I mean, it has been the hottest, probably one of the hottest spots in all of Donbass for a while. Currently there, and actually recently there has been, so the trend was Russians would try and crawl like closer to Pokrovsk. Our army would push them back. They would have like all of these blue dots on the map. It's the counteroffensives, and it just continued, but at the same time the Russians continued to encroach because there's just so many of them. So obviously they have huge superiority in people. So I think a couple of days ago, I'm not sure when exactly, but recently there have been reconnaissance units spotted for the first time on the outskirts of the city of Pokrovsk. So yeah, they're definitely getting closer. But there are very fierce battles fought there, which is another, the greatest horror of the entire situation. So yeah, I think these are the main ones. Wait, I actually have it written down. Kostiantynivka, Liman. Yes, talks about that. I have a list of things. Pokrovsk, yes, talks about Pokrovsk. Pokrovsk, the reconnaissance. Okay, yeah, we talked about that. And we also talked about the village that was captured in Liman direction and how it may only seem like a village, but in reality it could be a very important point. Anyway, let's see. Did I miss anything? Yeah, if you want to say something on YouTube, you just have to subscribe to channel and you can comment easily. Maybe it's confusing for people. I hope it's not. It should be. Anyway, so yeah, I mean the week has been pretty, thankfully, relatively uneventful. So that's definitely a good one. Obviously, we had like some of our own drama in the country. We had some corruption scandals breaking. As always, it just happens these days from time to time. Which, I mean, it's good. I appreciate it when it happens. It's better when, the public learns about it than when it just continues to sort of boil somewhere in the deep. So... Oh, yeah. Let's see what else. I think we're having a very chill day today, which is wonderful. I like it when it's so chill, honestly. Anyway, let me know if there's anything you would like for me to talk about. If not, I'll just show you some more pictures of the Moscow Victory Day abomination, and and then we'll probably just call it an evening, because I don't really want to go into the the depth of of every single missile strike and stuff. So yeah. At least your country prosecutes its corruption, says Michael. My country, USA, encourages it. Well, I mean, come on, that's not fair. You have courts that are very much functioning. Our courts are just, most of the times, are a joke. I understand there is a very deliberate effort to take down courts in particular, and it has been happening for a while, because I think courts is the last place where you cannot twist the truth in a way that you see fit. You cannot just say, whatever it is, the stuff they're saying on social media, twisting the reality in any way, shape, or like just how they want to. So I understand why they're trying to do this, but at the same time, at least from my perspective, it seems as though the courts are pushing back, and not just the courts. Actually, a lot of the functioning parts of the system do, and the media does as well, which is good. This is how it should be. In our case, unfortunately, we have a lot of these situations that go so deep in. At some point, you just sit down and you think, "Oh my God, how do we even start? How do we even begin to fix these things?" So, yeah. God, what is this? Okay, this is the Moscow subway, to those of you who are on YouTube. Decorated for the 9th of May. The infamous Moscow subway that Tucker Carlson loved so much when he visited Moscow. Remember, he was thrilled with the bread and subway. This is the giant word victory, said in all caps, because of course it's Победа. How else are you gonna know that it's victory if it doesn't say so in gigantic red letters? And then this is the... Wait, let me show you. So these are the flower beds in the center of Moscow with carnations, because carnations one of the symbols of the victory of the war. Like all of the normal people use poppy flowers. In Russia they use carnations. Anyway, and it says underneath, "Soon I'm gonna go to the front line again to kick the fascist hordes. Our case is the right one, as you all know." This is in reference, of course, to the war that they're currently waging against Ukraine. Because remember, one of the worst things that they have done, their propaganda has done, they tried to draw this parallel between the World War II and the war of aggression that Russia is fighting right now, and they tried to depict Ukraine as the fascists, right? They tried to depict us as the Germans, as the aggressors, as the whatever. What is this? I don't even want to know what this is. What is happening? There's some bar called California covered in balloons, the color of the Georgievskaya lentочка that they're all wearing, and then there's the poster with the Great Patriotic War. It's just, I don't know, it's kitsch. Jesus. Oh, hi. Hello. Let me see. America has very near zero chance of becoming a dictatorship. It's a shame that people can see the Ukraine issue, not realize how bad it could be. I understand we in America have political turmoil back and forth, but we're much better off. People need to get a grip. I think people just tend to get a little dramatic, right? When they care, they get dramatic. They're worried. A lot of people are really, really worried. So it's understandable. But at the same time, yeah, it does get... And another thing is, not everyone has the same experience, right? A lot of people have, and thank God. Thank God for that. I mean, this is not a very motivating experience, living with, such deep levels of corruption. Especially growing up, it was extremely disheartening. Realizing that everyone who is paying the bribes are getting ahead in life, and your parents, super honest people, shout out to my parents, they're not. They have to walk in circles because they're trying to, do everything correctly, and they're trying to do everything by law, and this is not how everybody else is doing things. And it's like, ugh. But now, of course, I appreciate it because I'm understanding that this was the way to go. This is how you, preserve your humanity in all of this, and not play into the system. Tucker is a weird man, says Kirk. Oh, Tuck, my man Tucker Carlson, but is usually good at separating the people from the politicians. That's an interesting conversation about whether or not you can actually do this and to which extent, especially in certain cases. But I'm not sure if Tucker is actually good at this or not. I'm a big fan, of course, but I'm not that familiar with his game. Anyway. Oh. Zoe just blocked someone named Vladimir Putin, and oh boy. Oh no, I didn't get to meet Vladimir Putin. How sad is that? Oh, hi Marnie, thank you. I honestly haven't encountered any of the Russian bots in the wild for such a long time. Are there any guesses by authorities in your country about how long the war will persist? By authorities, I'm not entirely sure, but the people are convinced that it's going to last for a very long time. Well, by all signs of it. A lot of people got very optimistic with the entire peace talks and Trump and all of this, but I think this optimism evaporated pretty quickly after seeing it happening, well, nothing happening in action. So, yeah, I think by this point in time, everyone's just realizing that, unfortunately, it's going to continue for as long as the Russians, thank you, Marnie, for as long as the Russians can, can afford to. For as long as they want to, I guess. So, anyway, I'm just gonna go back to the map to show you the map once again. Oh, one of my favorite things about the map is this. I don't remember if I showed you. This is the Moskva. Look at it. Why does it have baby Grogu? Anyway, but yeah, this is the approximate place where Moskva got hit in 2022, so that's a good one. Anyway, Carol says we're fighting to save the courts, and I'm very happy to hear it. This is the most important thing in the world. You know, I'm a huge fan of courts. No, but really, this is the only thing that keeps these people in check. Hello, LA woman. He makes lots of optimism evaporate pretty quickly. Yep, internationally too, not just in the US, but here as well. How do you feel about the treatment of Zelensky by Trump and Van? I think it was kind of disgraceful, but more for them than for him. I've talked about this briefly before. Oh, thank you. I think he didn't play it perfectly either. It's just his temper got the best of him. But at the same time, it was just not a good look for them. This is not how you treat, the diplomatic guests. So that was definitely something. It felt kind of cheap and gross and obviously staged. Especially J.D. Vance with it. Have you said thank you a million times? A million times everybody said thank you, J.D. Vance. Not to you, of course. I mean, how dare we? We should have said thank you, J.D. Vance a million times. How dare we thank the American people instead of J.D. Vance, I know. But yeah, it was just, it was icky. Major ick. Laura says Tucker is good for being a Russian pet. Yeah, he definitely got some sort of luxurious contract with the Kremlin. I'm not entirely sure what this was, how much money they offered him, what was it exactly that they offered him, but they sure got him good. Yeah, well, good for Tucker, good for him. Alrighty. Okay, we're just gonna chat for a little bit because I think I have I shown you all of the things that I wanted to. Yeah, we thankfully had. Oh, one thing that I want to talk about, the gossip, you guys. Kadyrov, do you remember Kadyrov? The head of Putin-occupied Chechnya, Ichkeria. We call it, normal people should be calling it Ichkeria. So, Kadyrov has been in the news recently. The Mr. Ramzan, wait, no, let me show you some picture of him. This is him. Look at this mug. So, the rumors of him getting sick have been flying around for a very long time. The head of Chechnya, Ramzan Kadyrov, is very close to, very close, I don't know, Putin puppet, pretty much. The rumors of him being very sick, something with his kidney, something with his blood, I don't really know what this is, but there were talks about him being very sick, and it's interesting to see these rumors because obviously a figure of such a scale, he's something of an iconic personality in terms of the Russian lore and the inner Russian politics because for some reason, for many reasons, mostly having to do with racism and the reputation of the Chechen people after the Chechen wars that Russians fought in Chechnya, there is the stereotype of the Chechen man being scary overall, and he is something Like he's like the number one, right? So he's the scariest of them all. And for the longest possible time, he was used like as a scarecrow of sorts. So whenever there would whenever there would be some sort of conflict between some Russian politicians or Russian personalities, one of the sides would immediately yell, "If you continue attacking me, I will call Ramzan Kadyrov and he's gonna destroy you." So using him as this like loud name to scare people, like what's the name of the doll from a horror movie, Annabelle, something like this. Anyway, so but the rumors of him getting sick and him needing an heir have been going around for a very, very long time, and this week they have resurfaced, and we're now talking about the potential change of power in Chechnya, which is very interesting. I mean, if it is interesting, if it is gonna happen, it is definitely interesting, but the most likely scenario, of course, is that it's just gonna be another, like, either his son or maybe someone close to him. So it's not gonna be like, oh my god, a massive revolution in Chechnya or something like this, but it's still interesting. It's still interesting to see when these turbulences begin to happen, because one day, one can hope, one of these turbulences might actually cause, a massive shift and hopefully change something for the better. So, yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, I think this picture is much more realistic. He has been really puffy recently, and they have been saying that it's because of the kidneys. So, yeah, we'll see. Oh. Zoe's here in the YouTube chat as well. Wait, Tucker went to your high school. Mary, I'm so sorry. You guys were one handshake away from knowing Tucker Carlson. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Was he awful? I don't think people liked him much. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why people didn't like Tucker Carlson much. He seems like such a wonderful fella. Oh boy, wow. Yeah, we need the deets. Mary, please, if you're still here, if you're still with us, tell us all of the hottest gossip about Tucker Carlson in high school. Oh, this is insane. Wow. I'm starstruck almost. Anyway, who takes over if Putin dies? One of his cronies, probably. Like, there were rumors that he has already died. I don't know if you've heard, but yeah, there have been rumors about him dying a long time ago. And that his body is in the freezer in Valdai, his residence. He has this massive residence in Valdai. And that his body has been put into a freezer with all of the vegetables and meat and stuff. And yeah, and that apparently his cronies are now ruling over Russia. So we might not even notice when he actually dies. And yeah, he recently mentioned, like, looking for an heir. Okay, I guess. We'll see. He has to die first. Let's wait for that, and then we'll see. It's been some time since the bug rumors about Putin being on his deathbed. Like, we'd be so lucky. I know. It sounded too good to be true. Okay, Mary is back with some Tucker. Just 2 years, and he was younger. Okay. Well, anyway, if you have any juicy deets, please let us know. We would love to. We would love to know. Oh wait, I didn't know him, says Mary, but new people in his grade all had bad things to say about him. Are we surprised? Honestly, are we surprised that the people in his grade didn't like Tucker Carlson? Thank you so much for this. This made my day. Wait, have I shown you guys a picture of Tucker visiting, I think it was in Buryatia, where they made him dress in their national garment and he looked like a clown. Wait. Oops. TikTok wants me to do the puzzle. Okay. And now I'm gonna... Wait, where is it? This is not it. No. It doesn't want to show me in English. Let me try in Ukrainian. Tucker Buryatia. There we go. To those of you on YouTube, this is This is what I'm talking about. This is Tucker Carlson in the Buryat national costume. Is this cultural appropriation? You let me know. Oh, thank you. So, yeah, anyway. Mary says, I wish I had more, but I never noticed him. Oh, this is the ultimate roast. This is the ultimate roast of Tucker Carlson that you could have given us. Oh my god. Mary never noticed him. So no personality, and whenever he showed personality, everybody around hated him. Yep, sounds like Tucker Carlson to me. Thank you so much for this. I love it. And yes, this is a picture of Tucker Carlson in Buryat national attire called Degil, I think. Degil. I'm not sure how to pronounce it correctly. Anyway, don't know how such a loser even got to be on TV. Well, miracles happen, I guess. But I don't know, he seems pretty, annoying and determined. Annoying, determined people usually make it very far in life, at least in my experience. This is where I should have said, look at me, but no, I never made it far in life. What do you think of the recent shift of USA's position, which seems to be more pro-Ukraine? We signed the mineral deal. So now, I think this is the most important shift. We still have yet to see anything of anything big happening, but at the same time, with the mineral deal, at least for now, first and foremost, it gives the sort of explanation of how it's actually profitable for the American public to support Ukraine, which it's so funny considering first they spend all of this time telling the exact opposite, how how it's awful and how it's, the laundromat and all these things. Now they're going to do the exact opposite. They're going to be like, oh, now we have the mineral deal. This is going to be so incredible. And I think it might be, we still haven't seen the detailed version, the technical version of the document, so it's hard to say. Everything we have seen so far, it's kind of questionable. It just sort of confirms that Ukraine now goes into the Western sphere of influence. We've known that already. It confirms that the US will be making some money from the deal, but sometime in the future. So it's a questionable deal, but at the same time, apparently it's seen as a win. And also, it's becoming pretty apparent that nothing's going to happen with the so-called peace talks as well. So, yeah, and it's, a lot of people expected them to become extremely pro-Russia, and many people, we were worried about this based on some of the rhetoric, but that would be an interesting U-turn to take. It's interesting to see what's going to happen now after the Xi's visit to Moscow, because the main reason why Xi visited, wait, where is Xi? Okay, you guys on YouTube, say bye to Tucker in his Buryat attire. We're gonna go to the picture of Xi and Putin. The main reason why Xi visited Moscow was to basically show to Russia that this is mine, or to America, this is mine, right? This is my vassal state. It belongs to me. So all of your attempts to, build bridges, to make these connections, to do whatever, because a lot of what the Trump administration has been trying to do, in a certain light, it could look like trying to get Russia out of the Chinese sphere of influence in a really weird, bizarre manner. But this is by using Steve Witkoff and his top-notch diplomacy. But this was definitely a part of it. And now Xi visits and said, nope. This is my little, mineral resources base, whatever. You have Ukraine for your minerals, and I have Russia. So whatever the plan was of trying to get Russia out of Chinese sphere of influence, it's clearly not working, at least for now. What we're seeing is the very opposite. They're deepening the connections. Thank you, Jim. They're deepening the cooperation. There are now Chinese weapons confirmed being used by the Russian army. There are more and more Chinese soldiers who just couldn't possibly be fighting in this war without the government, the Chinese government knowing. It's just impossible. This is not how it works. So, yeah, there's probably going to be more, especially considering that they could use other spheres of other supply chains. For instance, there was this information about Russians deepening their cooperation with Iran. well, guess who also gives Iran missiles and supplies them with some other things as well? Well, not missiles directly, but like stuff that they need to build missiles with, for instance. Gee, I wonder who that could be. So, yeah. Anyway, I forgot what the question was, but but I think I managed to give in the answer somewhere along the lines. Okay, let me see. Do we have? Okay. No, I'm still not over Mary knowing Tucker, being in the same high school with Tucker. I mean, now he plays the idiot to lead his interviews. Yeah, those interviews are definitely something. I only see snippets of them from time to time, and every time it's just with every passing year he's more and more like Alex Jones, which is not a compliment. Yep, I am alive and well, thank you. Anyway, straight from the Golden Wolf. Do you think Ukraine will be in the EU by 2030? Probably. Of course, a lot could go wrong, but they're now so determined to speed up the process. Ursula von der Leyen said, yesterday, she said, thank you, that we need, like, the best security guarantee for Ukraine is EU membership, which is, it's a new one, we've never heard that one before, but she followed this by saying that we have to speed up the process, we have to work faster. They have already sped up the process, I mean, considerably. We have seen it just a lot of you guys don't know this, but this entire back and forth with Ukraine and European Union has been lasting for years, and before 2022 the most optimistic forecast for us joining EU was like, decades away. Literal decades. We had all of these EU officials talking openly about how no, not yet. No, you need to like literally burn everything from the ground up. Your like legislation, everything that you have happening in the country, like the corruption schemes, all of this, and then maybe we will talk about it. Obviously, with 2022, everything has changed significantly for understandable reasons. So yeah, I think it has accelerated. Is 2030 realistic? Hard to say. Still a lot of obstacles. But I think there's definitely been this idea, the idea that it would be easier for the EU to work with the Ukrainian issues once Ukraine is already in the EU, I think has become more popular. It was originally floated around by some of the Nordic members, and it was kind of seen like at first as a crazy approach, but now it looks like more and more people agree on this. And also it's important to remember that we also have something to offer to the EU for the first time ever, that we have a standing functioning army that can hold the main threat to the EU, which is, you're never gonna guess it, you're never gonna guess who that is. It's Poland. No. It's Russia, obviously. So I suspect Putin lost Trump when Trump tweeted Vladimir stop. That's one of my favorite things that have happened in the last couple of weeks. The lives were changed by the Vladimir stop. Geopolitics 101, everybody. Anyway, do Ukrainians support joining the EU? I think, currently it's the majority. I don't know, I haven't seen any recent polling, but it has always been consistently much more Ukrainians have been pro-EU than even pro-NATO, right? Because NATO was seen as like, Don't forget, we have a lot of people who have been very, very heavily brainwashed under the Soviet Union and who lived for decades thinking that NATO is the poisonous snake that is going to kill their children. Wait, there's actually, maybe I will be able to find it. There was this very famous caricature with two cobras, NATO, and what was the other one? No, this is just a bunch of military gear. Okay, if I find it, I'll post it somewhere. Maybe I'll show it on the next stream. But yeah, it was just a lot of this propaganda that was obviously very anti-NATO. But the EU, everything has been pretty consistently pro-EU because There was no Soviet propaganda, anti-EU Soviet propaganda, I think mostly. Hi, TJ. Yeah, hopefully we will be there eventually. I mean, everyone, seemingly at least, everyone is working on it. All right, let me see. So, yeah. All right. One more chance to all of you on YouTube to look at Tucker in his Buryat attire. Okay, wait, maybe I can just Google like anti-natovskaya propaganda. What is this? No, this is not it. No, this is anti-Western propaganda. No. Okay. No, that's... Sorry, everybody. I'll have to work on it. I'll have to do my homework for the next stream. Anyway, I think these are all the main topics that I wanted to talk about today. Also, congratulations to those of you who are Catholic on the new Pope. I hope you're excited. That was definitely something that a lot of people were thrilled. It was good. Oh, thank you. It was good to... just the entire day was so filled with optimism. I have seen a ton of videos of people from all over Rome just running towards the Vatican, all thrilled about the new Pope being announced. It was so cool to see. I don't know, just really lifted up the moods. Oop, thank you. So yeah, I hope you guys are happy about that. Oh my god, what is this that I'm showing you? Oh, I'm showing you the video of someone celebrating the fact that there is the first train going from occupied Donetsk in the 11 years, and it's now a cause of celebration. The bitter irony of this is that Donetsk has been under Russian occupation for 11 years now. Before it was under the Russian occupation, it was this massive Ukrainian city, booming city. This is where just so much business and so much infrastructure and manufacturing was situated. This is the place that had this beautiful Donbass arena with all of the popular celebrity, like Beyonce and Shakira did concerts there. So yeah, and now they're celebrating the first train arriving in 11 years. So yeah, okay, I guess. Anyway, that's just something that I had put in my bookmarks. Thought that maybe I will show it to you as well. Anyway, you guys, oh, Zoe's saying something. Let me see. Would a Russian attack on potential mineral sites be considered attack on US, NATO in Donald's mind? It's a really good question what it will be considered in Donald's mind in particular. You say his mind is dark and full of terrors. It's really hard to say how he envisions this. But it's definitely going to... Actually, this is interesting. I wish we knew what this would be considered. It's definitely going to be considered an act of, I guess, international terrorism at the very least. Would it be enough to trigger the Article 5? I really doubt it. But also, I think, at least I hope, in my mind, the hope is that the majority of the effort is going to be concentrated on trying to prevent this from happening. So maybe, reinforcing our air defense, right? As you might remember, air defense is the key to everything. And we have already seen some, perhaps indirect, confirmations of that with the announcement of these transfers of the F-16s and parts and maintenance, right? And more Patriot systems and other planes from other countries as well. So hopefully this will be the focus, because at least I hope. What's happening in his mind is unfortunately something that I will never be able to comprehend, but maybe it's for the best. But my main hope for now is that it's going to be preventative action first, and not just, oh no, they just destroyed 3,000 American developers. Oh, thank you. In Zhytomyr. What are we going to do now? Thoughts and prayers, deep concern. So hopefully not that, but, something more substantial. Anyway, everybody, yeah, I think I will be calling it an evening. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, one more question, wait. is the is the feeling Zelensky would be overwhelmingly elected in the next election? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Not overwhelmingly. Depending on who his competition is. Right now, his main competition is our former General Zaluzhny, who's currently the ambassador to the UK. I don't know if you guys remember. To those of you who are still on YouTube, I'm going to show you how Zaluzhny looked like. Zaluzhny. Where's my favorite picture of him? Do they have it? The one with the heart. Yes, that's my favorite picture of General Zaluzhny. He's currently the ambassador to the UK, and a lot of people consider him the biggest potential competitor to Zelensky. And now this is something, like last time someone asked me, are there any young politicians who could be potential competition for Zelensky? And I immediately went to all of these like younger personalities, and I don't think so, but he can. Not only he can, he's going to be, if he decides to run, he's going to be a massive competition. And just his presence in the run, I feel like, will not give Zelensky like a landslide victory, that's for sure, and could actually be his downfall. I think if they run the campaign, when we have the elections, I don't know when it's going to happen, I think, yeah, this is definitely something of a major competition for him. If I had to choose, for instance, who I would vote for, I would vote for Zaluzhny. So, but then again, am I really a good indication? That's hard to say. Okay, I think this was the last question. Now, for realsies. So, thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope this was informative for all of you. So yeah, we will be calling it an evening. All of the links to YouTube, links to everything are in the bio as always. So yeah, if you like to subscribe, please go do that. Have a lovely evening, and yeah, we'll see you again next time. I will announce the live before it happens. I'm not sure if I will be live next week, but we'll see. But yeah, there's going to be a notification of some sort somewhere here on Instagram. Anyway, thank you so much. Take care and good night. Bye bye. Okay, and we're still live on YouTube, everybody. Once again. But no, I'm gonna be saying goodbye to you guys as well. Thank you so much for watching. Again, sorry, it's super messy still. A lot of tabs open, and I'm still struggling with navigating all of this and making it more entertaining. But I will try and do better next time around. So yeah, in the meantime, thank you so much for the support. Thank you, and yeah, good night. Lovely chill chat, yeah, thank you everyone for being nice and normal too. This is much appreciated. Good night everybody. Bye bye. Let me see, how do I, okay.